Hello, welcome to this first video tutorial of Unit 2, where we're going to look at manufacturing accounts. Now, if you look at the screen here, I've already put some text in, and it might be a good idea. Let's try and sort out our spelling. So we can see the manufacturing is wrong. This is just text simply typed in as confirmed by the text in the formula bar. Now we could just click on that and alter the text by typing in the correct figure, providing you know where the mistake is, or use Microsoft's spell checker F7, which I'm actually going to do, and I can see that by pressing F7 the correct spelling for manufacturing is there, so I'm going to click on change, and I can see the 3 S's in less, which there isn't, so we'll change that, and I'll click no. I don't want to start again, so we're ready to go. Okay, let's widen the cells down here so everything fits. Drag cell B across, and I'm going to position the heading manufacturing account for t-shirts for 2015 across, highlight that, go to the home menu, and on the ribbon across the top click merge and center. That'll do. Let's increase the size of the heading. Let's give it a border, outside border, and let's give it a background. Okay, now down to the serious stuff, manufacturing accounts. And what I'm looking for here is this all-important figure of the direct materials consumed in the manufacturing process. So what we're looking at here is the actual cost of materials used in manufacturing these t-shirts. I'm going to use figures different to the unit, so let's widen my cell a little bit. Direct materials, that's a subheading, so I'm going to underline that. And next let's look at the opening inventories. That's the raw materials we start with. So I'll put a figure in of 700, and you can see that $700 comes up. We'll purchase, for argument's sake, 2,000's worth of materials, and let's suppose we have 800 left. Now, direct materials consumed will equal, pressing the equal, the opening inventories plus the goods we have purchased, or the materials we've purchased. So these become a total materials available to us in the manufacturing progress, and we deduct from that the closing inventories, and they'll be carried over to the next manufacturing account. So there we have it, direct materials consumed. I'm actually going to put that in a square box before I move on to the next phrase. Okay, what comes next is direct labor. Now this would be the labor cost directly associated with the manufacturing of the t-shirts. For example, if you're paying staff, say for example, to print the t-shirts by piece rate, that is, they get paid per shirt they do, this would be the kind of thing we would include. Let's just put an arbitrary figure in again, $2,000. Okay, We can box that because on that to the home position, because that's it, if we know what those figures are. Now we're going to work on the overheads. I'm going to box that to begin with because this creates a set of interesting problems. Let's underline overheads, Control U, or click on this icon here to underline it. I've indented these items here because the indirect materials will be calculated in a similar fashion to the direct materials consumed. So the kind of things here would be materials that we would use in the factory that we cannot identify directly with the actual shirts themselves. So let's start with an opening inventory of $80 and we end up with $90 at the end of the year. Put that in red, you'll see why. And we've purchased $300 of indirect materials. Okay, here we go. The total indirect materials will equal opening inventories plus what we've purchased less what's left over, $290. Let's move that down. Now I put it in the wrong place, so rather than go through the process again, I can highlight it and drag it down. Just go to the edge, drag it down and put it in the right place. Indirect labour would be things like supervisors' wages. Let's pay them $200. Factory rent. Again, these are expenses cannot be attributed to the actual individual cost of producing those t-shirts. So a little bit of insurance, water and electricity, all fairly small figures, but they're there to help us understand what's going on. Now let's add up these total overheads. I'll put that into this cell here. So click on the cell, I'm going to go to auto sum, choose the sum, highlight those figures there, and press enter. Okay, made a mistake, no problem, delete, click on auto sum, choose sum, highlight these figures here, press enter, and I believe that's my figure. So the total overheads, I'm going to embolden these figures here and these here. Highlight all of them. Let's put them in bold, indicate that these are the three elements that make up the manufacturing costs. Okay, now we work on to the final stage. What we want to do is add in to these costs any opening work in progress. Now what opening work in progress might be are goods that are sort of halfway through the production process at the start of the year, but we bring them into this year because we've completed the production. So let's put a modest figure in, 70. So we're going to add that in because it belongs to this year's production. But in a similar way, the closing work in progress would be the t-shirts, for example, that have not been painted on and they're left in the process of being made. So we'll put in 100 on that. Now that's in red because we're going to deduct that figure. So finally, we get to the cost of manufacturing goods. Now that will equal the three elements. That's direct materials used plus direct labour plus total overheads plus the opening work in progress that came into the manufacturing progress, and we take away from that the closing work in progress, which we can pass to next year. Press enter. I'm going to block that in again, as I did before. Highlight. But let's make a big thing of the cost of manufacturing the goods that we sold. Let's put a block around that. Let's give it a classy background. Alright. Now, in a trading account, that is rather equivalent to the cost of goods sold. Alright. So in the trading account, this figure becomes cost of goods sold. That's it. Hope you have a better understanding of how we put together a manufacturing account.